I'm Johnny LaRent, and this is Ask Johnny LaRent. So let's start answering some questions. First question comes from Gerald in Georgia. He asks, Dear Johnny LaRent, do you watch CNN, Fox News, or one of the other news networks? No. Tanner from California asks, what would you rather watch? Would you rather watch some horseplay, or would you rather watch some horseplay? I don't know. Tina from Mississippi asks, how hungry are you, Johnny? I'm so hungry I could eat a steak. My landlord, Mr. Lamford, asks, Dear Johnny LaRent, when are you going to pay the rent that you've owed for the last 4 months? I'm giving you 2 more weeks. Well, I'll pay you as soon as I get it. Either that, or by the time I get thrown out. If I have the money then. Michael in Florida asks, Dear Johnny LaRent, what's the most embarrassing thing that ever happened to you? Really? You don't know what the most embarrassing thing that happened to me was? Did you watch the news 7 years ago? One time, back when I was still living in the old country, before I moved here, I was at the supermarket, I dropped a few dollars, and everybody was around me pointing and laughed mercilessly. Even those carrying big jars of things. It was all over the news for several months. The media blew it out of proportion. A lot of places said that I dropped $5, but it was really just $3. It happened on a day in old country history that we in the old country refer to as the day of major tragedies 4, because there had been 3 previous days that were full of major tragedies. Yeah. On the day of major tragedies 4, we had such major tragedies as the nuclear elevator explosion, and the airplane that hit the garbage truck, and the death of comedy legends Eurgong and Snippy, and the jaywalker who stole a record collection, and other major tragedies. Mine got most of the focus. We should get to the next question. So, for our final question today, Phyllis from Georgia asks, Dearest Johnny, I'm really interested in learning about other countries by looking at pop culture. So what pop culture from the old country would you recommend? I would recommend the comedy of comedy duo Eurgong and Snippy. They're both very funny. They're really big in the old country, but they never made it in any other country for some reason. They had really great acts. They portrayed well foreigners. Eurgong's stick was that he could speak our language, but he couldn't understand it, or Snippy could understand our language, but he couldn't speak it. That's funny enough. They got the star on the Viper stage with an instant hit. Except for the usual routine, it is such great classics as the mirror chewing bit, and the whole middle finger thing, and the Who's Who routine. It's all funny. They quickly got a job on the radio, but for the first few episodes, the radio show had poor ratings because they mainly did the visual stuff, like the middle finger thing. And then at the third show, Snippy accidentally farted on the air. He got big laugh. The radio show went down in history as being the first radio show to have farting on the air. It brought bathroom humor into popularity in the old country decades before it became popular in America. And farting became a new running gag of Eurgong and Snippy. And they had a big career in films, including feature films, B-list films, short films, and also film serials, including Serial Killers on the Loose and Serial Eaters on the Loose. During World War II, they did such great film serials as Eurgong and Snippy versus America, Eurgong and Snippy versus Japan, and Eurgong and Snippy versus Italy. The Eurgong and Snippy versus Germany could be made because then World War II being completed and the old country lost. They got their own sitcom called the Eurgong and Snippy Show, brought to you by the Parker Pax Air Rifle Company. In fact, the sponsor had forced him into having a certain feathers for Parker Pax air rifles, which Eurgong and Snippy didn't really like him to do, but sponsorship won out. For the last season, the sponsorship changed to the Brown Toothpaste Company, and the season premiere was all about them giving up their air rifle feathers for good, but then they became addicted to brown toothpaste. They visited an educational Saturday morning series. At first, the educational lessons were more simple, but as the show went on and the situations ironically became more adult, the educational lessons became more obvious. Later in life, they did the Eurgong and Snippy Comedy Hour, another hit show. Eurgong and Snippy may have got old, but their act never did. I had the pleasure of meeting Eurgong and Snippy on the day before they died of old age in the nuclear elevator explosion. In other words, check out Eurgong and Snippy. They're both very funny, and they should have been more popular here, but they weren't. I'm Johnny LaRent. You watch us, Johnny LaRent.